Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to today's PTEsaYou. PTEsaYou makes PTE easy. I'm you, your PTE therapist. And today we'll first have a quick review of contents from last week, and then we'll do 10 more new sentences today. Ready? Let's go. So last week we learned a phrase, blow to something, and reopen wounds, and be guaranteed to do, and hold something here, hold bonds to maturity. Number 4, absorb. Absorb the bad news and uncertainty. And we can say create uncertainty. Number 5, demand. Demand reparations and dismiss. Dismiss an idea. Number 6, intellectual property. And we say steal IP. Number 7, decadent. Decline. A declining power. Number 8, deny. Deny blame for something. And hail the management. Tension and consequence. Something has consequence. And face criticism and contain the epidemic. All right, and now we'll begin today's session. Number 1, restrictions will be eased in phases depending on how quickly infections fall. Here we have a verb, ease. It means to make something less severe, difficult, less painful. And here we have a phrase, ease restrictions. And phase is like stages, in phases, in stages, step by step. So the sentence meaning the restrictions will be lifted, will be relaxed step by step. It really depends on how quickly number of cases fall. Number 2, New York State also took tentative steps towards reopening. Here we have a word, tentative. So it means a plan or an action said or done in a careful but uncertain way because you are not too sure. And we also have a phrase, take steps to do something or take steps towards doing something. So this sentence means New York State is doing some experiments, some trials, but you're not too sure which direction to go as of yet. Number 3, an expert on infectious diseases warned that rushing to end lockdowns would result in more suffering and death and do more economic harm in the long run. So we have a phrase, result in or lead to, means to cause a particular situation to happen. Just make sure that you got the prepositions right. And then do harm as a phrase means cause damage. And we can often hear people say it does more harm than good. It actually makes a situation worse. And also in the long run or in the long term. So here the experts basically saying that if reopening the economy too soon, then yeah, there might be consequences in the long term. Number 4, America's Attorney General astounded Washington by dropping the criminal case against Trump's first national security advisor, who had pleaded guilty to misleading the inquiry. Astound means to surprise or shock someone very much. And drop means to stop doing or planning something. And here we have a phrase, drop the case against someone, means you no longer want to proceed the prosecution or against someone. And also plead guilty to means you make a statement of what you believe to be true in a court. And if you plead guilty to something, that means you admit you've committed something wrong. And here the sentence basically saying that the security advisor had already pleaded guilty, has already admitted misleading the inquiry, but for some reason, the Attorney General still decided to stop the case, not to proceed with it. Number 5, China announced a ban on imports of meat from 4 abattoirs in Australia, citing food safety. So ban means an official order that prevents something from happening. And here we have a phrase, announce a ban on something. You'd use it in a very formal situation. And cite means you mention something or provide something as a reason. So here basically is China stops importing meat from Australia from 4 abattoirs. It's like you can understand as meat plants where animals are killed, and citing food safety. So explaining its action as it's because it concerns with the food safety. Number 6, some wives insist on pressing charges against the other woman. Insist on means to keep doing something. And press charge against, it means to complain officially about someone in a law court. So yeah, the opposite from previously dropping the case against. Now someone decides to press charges against. Number 7, jail terms for extramarital affairs are at odds with the Taiwan's otherwise liberal laws. Extramarital affairs means a relationship outside marriage. Yeah, and then at odds with, it means in disagreement with. And here, Taiwan's otherwise liberal laws means this case is not included. So it says normally Taiwan's laws are quite liberal, but yeah, in this case, it seems it's a bit inconsistent as to they would decide to treat something as criminal. So it's an exception. Number 8, despite all these flaws, Taiwanese seems to like it. Everyone thinks a stable marriage and family is the foundation of social stability. I think this is a very common sentence, and you can often use it to conclude your writing. Flaw means a fault, a mistake, or a weakness. And despite the flaws means though there are flaws, but yeah, you would say despite, and you would put a noun after it. It's very brief, and also this structure makes the sentence very flexible. And then despite something, still I support it. Right? Usually you can conclude like that. And here we have foundation. Foundation is an idea or fact that something is based on. If this is a topic about marriage or family or society, yeah, in general, then yeah, you can always say stable marriage and family is the foundation of the society. Yeah, sounds very professional. Number 9, amid the doom and gloom, many employees have been laid off. So here we have a phrase, doom and gloom means bad news and unhappiness. So you probably would have noticed that these two words actually rhyme. So it rhymes means those words are ending with the same thing, like double OM, and it's common in English. Another example would be name and shame. Yeah, and then lay off. Lay off means to stop employing someone, but usually it's not because of their poor performance. Maybe because of something else, such as because of the economy. And also the layoff together can be used as a noun. And the last sentence, some expect workforces to shrink by 15% on average, adding up to total job losses in excess of 125,000. So shrink, it means to become smaller. So instead of using a decrease, for, and then this word sounds a bit fancy. And also add up to and in excess of. It's same as more than. But this sentence looks very simple, but do pay attention to these prepositions like on, up to, and in, of. I want to tell you that good writing is not about using those big vocabulary, but about making the best use of these small words. All right, thanks for watching, and please subscribe PTEsaYou. PTEsaYou makes your PTE easy, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.